Hi class, today we'll talk about how the ellipse is formed from a cone, one of the four conic sections in analytic geometry. So let's define first the learning objectives. So by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to plot the graph of an ellipse with its vertices and foci identified, then write in standard form of equation of an ellipse. So how the ellipse is formed? The ellipse is formed when the plane cuts the cone at an angle not parallel to the base and also not passing through the vertex of the cone. So in short, the plane is tilted a bit, kaya yung intersection line niya sa cone becomes an oval, and that's the ellipse. Another definition, a set of points in the plane such that the sum of the distances from two fixed points, here are the foci or the two fixed points, remains constant. So what does that mean? The distance from one of the foci to a point along the ellipse, denoted here as d sub 1, then from that point to another foci, that is the d sub 2. So the summation of these two distances is also equal to this distance d sub 3 and d sub 4. So, kaya yung mga distances na nasa loob po ng ellipse, yung summation nilang dalawa is pareho dun sa another summation ng distances. Then, let's define the parts of an ellipse, starting with the focus. So, the ellipse has two foci and their coordinates are f, c, 0 and f prime negative c, 0. So, for example, here, the center of the ellipse is at the origin 0, 0. That means that the distance from the center to one of the foci, denoted as the c, positive c, since it is on the positive side of the x-axis, while the other one is negative c. So, the distance between the foci thus equal to 2c. So, yan yung summation nila. Next is the center. So, the midpoint of the line joining the two foci is called the center of the ellipse. Then another parts of an ellipse, the major axis, so that is the longest length of the axis. Here is the semi-major axis, denoted as A. Then the other one is also A, but for this one, it should be negative A since it is on the negative side. Then the minor axis is from the center to another point along the ellipse. Siya yung mas shorter na length dun sa axis. So that is the B, distance, and negative P. So for this example, the major axis is parallel to the x-axis. Then the latus rectum, since we have two foci here, therefore we can also have two latus rectum. So the formula for the latus rectum is given by L is equal to 2b squared over 8. Next is the directrix. Since the ellipse has two latus rectum. Therefore, it will also have two directrix. So for this specific example, the major axis is parallel to the x-axis. That's why the formula to get the equation for the directrix is given by x is equal to negative a over e for this one, since it is on the negative side of the x-axis. Then for another directrix, the equation is x is equal to positive a over e, or the eccentricity. But in case that the major axis is parallel to the y-axis, therefore the directrix is at the y-axis. You just need to change the x to y. Then for the eccentricity, for the ellipse, it is less than 1. So the formula to compute the eccentricity is given by E is equal to C over A. So the eccentricity is the ratio of the distance of the focus from the center of the ellipse. So ito yung sinasabi niya, 'di ba? Yan yung C natin na distance. So C. And the distance of one end of the ellipse from the center of the ellipse. Then ito naman yung semi-major axis na may distance A. Kaya yung magiging eccentricity niya, since mas malaki yung length ng A, so magiging less than 1. Then formula to remember. So same lang po yun sa mga pinakita ko kaninang formula. So this is the formula for the directrix. So D E is equal to A, or yung kanina na D is equal to A over E. So ni-rearrange lang siya. So cross multiply mo. So kaya naging D E is equal to A. So yung ganitong arrangement ng formula, para madali nyo siyang ma-memorize. Isang linya lang. Then ito naman yung formula for the latus rectum. Kung matandaan mo, dun sa past slides na pinakita ko, yung formula niya is L is equal to 2b squared over A. So, cross multiply mo to, kaya naging LA is equal to 2BB. So, equals lang yan sa b squared ito. Then, another one is the eccentricity. So, yung kanina, E is equal to C over A. So, cross multiply mo siya, kaya siya naging EA is equal to C. Then, yung relationship naman ng then the relationship between the axis and the foci is given by C squared is equal to A squared minus B squared. Then the summation of the two distances is also equal to 2A, or yung length ng major axis. Then ito, so again, since constant po yung summation ng distances, it is also equal to 2A. Where yung A here is, A is the semi-major axis. So ito yun, semi-major axis. B is the semi-minor axis. Ito naman yung pangalawang axis na mas maikli sa major axis. So B, negative B. Then C is the distance between center and the focus. Ito po yung C. Then D is the distance between the center and the directrix. So ito yung distance D. To D. Then eccentricity E is equal to the eccentricity. L is the the length of the latus rectum. Then for this, in analytic geometry, the ellipse is represented by the standard equation x minus h squared all over a squared plus y minus k squared all over b squared equals 1. So this is only applicable if the major axis is parallel to the x-axis. Therefore, the A is under where the variable x is. Then, also, the center here is not at the origin, kaya meron tayong HK. But if the center is at the origin, so palitan mo to ng 0. So this becomes x squared plus y squared a squared b squared is equal to 1. So ito naman yung formula if the ellipse, the center of the ellipse is at the origin. Then another standard equation where the major axis is parallel to the y-axis. So here is the A under where the variable y is located. Then the center of the ellipse here for the specific figure is not at the origin. So meron kang HK, but again, if the center is at the origin, example here is the ellipse. So substitute the center HK by 0. So this become x squared b squared plus y squared over a squared equals 1. So yan po yung standard equation of an ellipse with center at the origin. So in-explain ko na kanina. So x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared. So a is parallel to the x-axis, therefore dapat under siya na variable x. Then for standard equation of an ellipse with center at the origin. So since the major axis is parallel to the y-axis, so therefore a is under the variable y. So let's have an example for this one. So sketch the graph of the ellipse and identify the coordinates of the foci and vertices. Here is the semi-major axis in squared. So based from the standard equation, it means that the center is at the origin. And based from observation, so by inspection, A is under x, therefore it is parallel to the x-axis. So let's solve the semi-major axis. So get the square root of 9. So A is equal to 3. So the distance from the center is 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is the one of the vertices of the major axis. So at 3, 0 coordinates. So here it is. Then another semi-major axis on the negative side. Then for the semi-minor axis, get the square root of 4, so 2. So it is along the y-axis, distance 2. So let's connect the vertices of the ellipse. So that's how you sketch it. Then in the problem, we are asking to identify the coordinates of the foci. So to get the distance of the foci from the center, it is given by c squared is equal to a squared minus b squared. So therefore, a squared is equal to 9. Then b squared is equal to 4. So square root of 9 minus 4 is square root of 5, or approximately equal to 2.236. So in plotting this one, so the distance from the center to one of the foci is 2.2. So it is located here. Then another focus. So 2.3. So it is located along here. Then to get the the coordinates for foci, from that negative square root of 5 is 0. So since the one of the focus is along the x-axis, then another focus at positive side, square root of 5 is 0. Then for the vertices of the major and minor axis, so v sub 1. So v sub 1 is at negative 3, 0. V sub 2 is at 3, 0. Then for minor axis, v sub 3 at 0, positive 2, since it is along the y-axis. Then for this one, v sub 4, 0, negative 2. So that's how you plot an ellipse. Next, sketch the graph of the ellipse and identify the coordinates of the foci and vertices. This time, the longer radius is under the y variable. That means it is parallel to the y-axis. Then again, the center is again at the origin. So based from the standard equation, so wala tayong HK. So to get the semi-major axis, get the square root of 16, so equals to 4. Then b, square root of 9 is equals to 3. So let's plot it on our graph. So the center is at the origin again. Then the semi-major axis is along the y-axis based from this equation kasi yung longer radius is under the variable y. So bilang lang tayo ng 4 from the center, 1, 2, 3, 4. So nandito banda yung coordinates ng major axis. Then yung isang coordinates ng major axis, 1, 2, 3, 4. So nandito. Then for the minor axis, it is along the x-axis with the 3 units away from the center. So then let's connect the vertices of the ellipse. Yeah. Then we are again asked to get the coordinates of the foci. So to solve this one, c is equal to the square root of a squared minus b squared. The a here is 16 a squared and 9 is the b squared. So equals to 16 minus 9. C is what? Square root of 16. Square root of 16 minus 9 is square root of 7 or approximately equal to 2.645. Square root of 7 or approximately equal to 2.646 units. So to plot the foci, it is along the major axis. So dapat parallel din siya sa y-axis. So susundan niyo yung path ng major axis. So it is 2.646 units away from the center. 2 points. So this is here. Then another focus at that point. Therefore, the coordinates of one of the foci is square root of, since it is along the y-axis, the coordinate should be 0 square root of 7. Then the other one f prime is 0 negative square root 7. Then for the vertices, this is this v sub 1 at what? The coordinates is 0, 4. Then for another vertex, v sub 2, 0, negative 4, since it is along the negative y-axis. Then v sub 3,